All right, Skyrocket. So I'm basically just going to upload this separately. Well, it's going to be uploaded separately. So I don't know what happened with the sound, but I'm glad I noticed through the spirit. But shit got, long into the video, didn't notice. So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, which that's what we're doing and that's what we were called to do, prepare thy soul for temptation. Right? You have to prepare your soul for temptation. That's a part of that trial and tribulation. That's a part of the walk. That's a part of the trying as gold is tried. That's a part of the refining. And silver is indeed refined. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And make not haste in a time of trouble. All right? And constantly every day we're going through trouble. Don't make haste. When you're going through a situation, hey, man, be patient. That's what we got to pray for, patience. All right? Being hasty makes you go off in the spirit. It makes you go off. A lot of men were hasting, because we hasten today. But a lot of men were overly hasting and had no patience when the year 2000 situation happened. And what happened to a majority of those men? They fell out. They either back in the world, dead, or shit. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. And we have indeed been brought and changed to a low estate. But just take it cheerfully, because soon we're going to be paid back. And it says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So those acceptable men are in comparison to gold. And that furnace of adversity is that fire, man. And that's what we have to go through. That also is what comes along with proven men, proven brothers, and making our value, Lord willing, we have that number more and higher than gold and silver and the precious metals. All right. So it says, that's the point I want to get in verse 5 there. So we could jump ship on that. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse 3. Let me see. Maybe if I type this, I really want to know what I was trying to get out of Isaiah. I did mistype it. It's Isaiah 48 and 10, and I thought about going there. Isaiah 48 and 10. There we go. Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. There you go. Furnace of affliction, man, which goes hand in hand with what we just read in Sirach 2 and 5. All right, the Lord chose us in the furnace of affliction, man. All right. So there you go. We've been refined as gold, as silver is refined. We've been tried as gold is tried, man. And how is that taking place? So here you got us compared to silver, and then you got us compared to gold in Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. All right. How is that happening? Because we're being tried in the furnace of affliction. All right. And it's knocking off all that dross. All right, and retaining all of those precious metal, man. Retaining that, but knocking off all the dross and that funky shit. All right. It says, that's that. All right. You go back to Romans 5 and 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. And patience, experience, and experience, hope. All right. So let's read that again. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, We know what's on the end. We know what's at the end of the tunnel. Knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So when you go through tribulation, it worketh patience. And patience experience hope. All right? But that tribulation worketh patience. Patience is more precious than gold. Patience is something majority of people do not have. Why is patience so valuable? Why does that also make a brother more precious than fine gold? Because when you go to Matthew 24 and 12 and various other scriptures, but we're going to go to Matthew 24 and 12 or 13, forgive me. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's why. If you have patience, you're going to be able to endure to the end. Patience equals endurance. That's what it equates to, endurance. All right, they're one and the same. Patience, endurance. Patience, endurance. All right, and that man that's going to endure until the end, that's who's going to be saved. All right, the man who's going to stay rooted into Yahushua all the way through the end. And one last but not least, you know the good old Zechariah 13. All right, we read at verse 9. And it reads, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. All right, that third part is talking about the elect, all right, which that third part consists of the 144, as well as the innumerable multitude of the remaining one third, all right? So that's what that is talking about. And the elect is currently, as the scripture said right here, being refined as silver is and tried as gold is. There you go. Meaning we're going through affliction. A great deal of it too. And call Allah Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shai, the water Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shai for that. All right, so anyway, that's the point. All right, that's why it says brother's value is about to skyrocket like the precious metals are currently. All right, so anyway, I do hope and pray that this was edifying to you all. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shai, by Hashem HaKodash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right, until next time, Ababa Bo, Kwam Yasharala, Gadol Abadiam, Lababa Gadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wahabatham.